Welcome to the Motormouth YouTube channel. I'm Zach.
I'm Andrea.
And this is our look at the J.D. Power 3-year dependability study. So what you have to keep in mind, these are cars that were sold in 2022.
Yeah, so this is the 36th year for the study. J.D. Power has been doing this for a very, very long time. They follow real people, original owners for 3 years of that particular model year, 2022. J.D. Power got responses from over 34,000 people and 184 problem areas. And they broke it down into 9 categories. Those categories are climate, driving assistance, powertrain, driving experience, exterior, interior, seats, infotainment, and the final category is features, controls, displays.
So a couple of things. One thing in 2022, we all want to forget it, but you can't when it comes to cars. These were what we call COVID cars. You might remember there were supply shortages. It's hard to get cars. They would sell some cars without specific features because they just couldn't get the parts. So that plays into it. And the number one thing is, Andrea, connectivity.
Yes, and don't forget, Zach, some of these vehicles were overpriced as well. And J.D. Power noticed when they did their initial quality study for 2022, which is a 90-day study. Some of you, we have done this study before, we've shared the results, and some of you have chimed in and said, oh, that initial quality study means nothing. But J.D. Power disagrees with that because basically that initial quality study for 2022 models carries over into this dependability study where owners continue to have problems.
So a lot of people say 3-year dependability study. Why don't they do a 5-year? Why don't they do a 10-year? They used to do a 5-year dependability study. They axed it because they found that after 3 years, a lot of the problems were on the owner and how they maintained the car and how they looked after it. 3 years is a good snapshot because the cars are still under warranty. People are probably still going back to the dealer for maintenance and also to get things done on them so they can actually capture that data.
And you know what? This really helps automakers and suppliers because it gives them an idea where the problems are, which vehicles are more reliable, what are key findings with problems like connectivity, and gives them a better understanding of what they need to work on as well.
All right, so let's get into it.
So let's get right to the number one brand. It is Lexus. Lexus has held the number one spot for 3 years in a row for this dependability study.
3 years ago, remember, 2022, a lot of new Lexus products have come in the marketplace since. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can maintain that over the next few years. By the way, typically we see an improvement in quality year over year, but we've seen with so much technology being forced into screens and into the dash that quality has started to erode a little bit because people are frustrated with all the stuff in the screen.
J.D. Power says vehicle problems after 3 years of ownership have reached the highest level since 2009. And according to the 2024 results, the industry experiences a 6% increase in problems per 100 vehicles. The rise in problems is partly attributed to mass market brands having software defects.
So in a second, we're going to go through the winners in not all the categories. We can't be here all day, but the key ones that people buy the most. So stick around for that. The overall findings are that hybrids, and we've seen this not only in North America, but in other jurisdictions around the world, are the most reliable. That's a regular hybrid. So that really leans heavily on Toyota, of course. They're the king of hybrids. But hybrids most reliable, followed by internal combustion engines, regular gas models, and then behind that, EVs have moved up. They're becoming more reliable and they're kind of on par with diesel powertrains. And in last place for overall reliability by category are plug-in hybrids because you've got a plug-in element and a gas element, and that working together can be problematic.
So it's interesting to see that the gap between EVs and gas models has really decreased. So that is good news for electric vehicles. In 2022, there were 27 new vehicles launched, and only 4 of those had an above average dependability score. And they came in at 241 problems per 100 vehicles. Outgoing models had 196 problems per 100 vehicles. But all those outgoing models performed better than these new models in the 9 categories.
I think it's because they throw so much new stuff at cars, right? There's all the advanced safety features, all the technology on board. There's just more stuff to go wrong, and that sort of proves our point. So the outgoing models are more reliable. If a car's been in the market for a long period of time, typically they figure out the bugs, and we're starting to see that with EVs. EVs are starting to get a little more mature, the software is getting improved, and the overall category is coming up.
So there are 12 brands that fell above the industry average. So let's go through them. We already talked about Lexus being number 1. That brand had 140 problems per 100 vehicles. Second place is Buick with 143 problems. So not a huge difference there.
I've been saying for years, watch this study. If you look back over even 10 years, Buick has indexed well above the industry average. I keep on repeating this stat, but a lot of people don't believe it. Buick, year after year after year, is near the very top.
In third spot, it's Mazda or Mazda. Keep in mind, the CX-90 and the CX-70 are not included in this, so this may change in the next dependability study. Toyota is in 4th, Cadillac takes 5th, and Chevrolet is in 6th.
The cousin GMC is in 7th place. Porsche takes 8th spot. And then you have BMW, Mini, Kia, and Honda that round out the top 12 most dependable brands. So J.D. Power thankfully breaks down all the winners, second place and third place for most of the categories of vehicles sold in North America. We're not going to read all of them. We're going to touch on some of the biggest categories of vehicles that are sold, starting with compact car.
In third place is the Subaru Impreza. In second place, the Kia Forte, and the number 1 spot goes to the Toyota Corolla.
For a mid-size car, in third place, it's the Hyundai Sonata. Second place, the Nissan Altima, and the number 1 car is the Toyota Camry.
In the small SUV category, in third spot, Buick Encore GX. Second spot goes to the Subaru Crosstrek, and the number 1 spot goes to the Nissan Kicks.
And the most important category in terms of sales is compact SUV. In third spot is the Mazda CX-5. Second place is the GMC Terrain. And the number 1 spot goes to the best-selling passenger car in North America, the Toyota RAV4.
In the compact premium SUV category, number 3 goes to BMW X3. In second spot, the BMW X4. And the number 1 SUV is Mercedes-Benz GLC.
For large SUV, they don't have a 3-2-1. They just have an overall winner. It's the Chevy Tahoe.
For midsize SUVs, number 3, Toyota Venza. In second position, Chevrolet Blazer. And the number 1 midsize SUV is the Nissan Murano.
We're going to do just one pickup truck category. It's the midsize pickup truck. In third place is the Chevrolet Colorado. Number 2, the cousin, the GMC Canyon. And number 1 is the Toyota Tacoma. So it's interesting, Andrea, when you go through all the winners of each category, a lot of people go, oh, look at all those Toyotas. But you know what's interesting is Toyota and General Motors were tied at 6 category winners each.
Yeah.
And that's incredible. And a lot of it falls on the General Motors trucks.
And the most dependable vehicle from Toyota is the Toyota Avalon, which Toyota no longer sells.
But they do sell the Lexus ES. And I think that's one of the reasons why Lexus did so well in the studies, because the Lexus ES has been around a long time.
Nissan did get a couple of awards, one for the Kicks and the Murano, but they've both been replaced.
And that's the thing, is when vehicles have been left in the marketplace, often they're more reliable. Murano's a perfect example of that. Has been in the marketplace. I'm trying to remember the last time it was updated. Was it 12, 10 years ago? So if you leave it in the marketplace for a long time, often they can figure that stuff out. And Kicks has also been replaced with a new model, but the Kicks has only been around for a few years. So that's good for them.
Now, a lot of people go on about J.D. Power, that it is bought and paid by the manufacturers. But this study is all about following real people. And that's what I constantly tell our viewers. Keep in mind, these studies are used really as a tool when you're looking at buying a new vehicle. And I think a whole bunch of information, whether you go with J.D. Power, Consumer Reports, Repair Pal, etc., everybody can use some sort of information to help them make a good decision.
Okay, so the business model for J.D. Power, here's how it works. They pay to do the study, and they collect all the data. And then they sell that data, which is vitally important to the manufacturers. And by the way, what we're sharing with you is that much of the data. Data, same thing. And then they take all of the extra data and they sell that to the manufacturers. That's how they make their money.
Yep.
They don't front load it and say pay to be part of the study. No, they do the study, and then with all that information, they then charge for it. So people say it's a pay to play. I'm here to tell you, every single brand pays them for their data.
And if you think about it, if you get a great dependability score and you can use that information to sell your vehicles, why wouldn't you pay to take that information and pass it on to your consumers? It just makes sense.
All right, so that's our look at the J.D. Power 3-year dependability study. In the summer, I think, is when the initial quality one comes out, right? So we're looking forward to doing that.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, and if you like what you see, subscribe. We'll see you next time.